I think what it comes down to is that people, it's hard to see, it's hard to see differences and similarities amongst each other as Africans. And I think it makes it more so of a point when we do see the struggle of another African. Um, and then they come over to, let's say, South Africa looking for refuge. But it's like, you look at this person and they have perhaps the same opportunities as you do as a South African, that you feel like they have made more advantages or made more steps forward than you do. And then you feel entitled, and then you feel, and I certainly understand it. As a politics student, I completely understand, helping yourself first before you help others. But at the same time, we went through a struggle together. You know what I mean? Africa went through a colonization together. We came out of the struggle together. If anything, South Africa was the last country to gain its independence, if we think about it as a timeline. So, it is hurtful to watch other African countries who really have laid their lives on the line. Armies have died. Cuba sent 2,000 men over to, all these things, and we add them up and we take them for disadvantage, when it's like, there was a point in time in history when Africa was one team, when we all had one enemy and we all had one goal. So fast forward 25 years after, independence and blah, 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 we've all started coming out with our own different separate goals. South Africa wants to be the gateway for the rest of Africa. Nigeria wants to be the strongest economy. All these things are possible if we do work together, but we can't, as African countries, beg for independent power over everybody else, because I think that's where xenophobia is coming from. It's coming from someone trying to be a dominant on our own continent, which doesn't make sense because we've all got the same fight.
Wow. Uncle Black. Uncle Black. Hey. What up, fam? You already know what time it is, baby. Conversation with the stars with your one and only Uncle Black. And you know what we do, baby. Bringing to you the finest talent from across the globe. We ain't never gonna stop. So, today we jump in the board a little bit. We go into Zim. I don't know if that's the right thing to say, because, I think my sister is still how Jane A say that. So, we might not be crossing the borders. But, respectfully, we jump in the borders. So yeah, we got Tenjib Sawari all the way from Zimbabwe, baby. You know how we do when we in the motherland, right? We get super 10 down. So no waste of time. I'm gonna get my sister on so we can keep this interview on, man. Yeah, man. Sisters why some things are helping the way they are. Yeah, we'll talk about all that. We'll talk about all that.
I don't know
how. Dixie, how are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, but I hate that I don't really see you.
I'm so sorry about this. It's my first time going live, so I need to get used to this stuff.
Oh, it's all good. It's all good. How are you? Okay, though?
I'm well, brother. How are you?
I'm okay. Just perplexed by where you've been and how you've been and what you did. Wait, I had a special greeting for you.
Oh, no.
A special greeting. Oh. Zerse.
Oh, je sais dire pour Mimi.
Hey, you went too deep. So, Rita say. Did you get that?
Oh, a little bit. You can say it again for me?
Rita say.
Rita say. Je l'ai net, ça.
Oh, yeah, that's good. That's good. That's all I can do. Yeah. Thank you for joining us.
No problem. Thank you for having me. I'm very humbled by the invitation.
Yeah. God bless. I appreciate this. Wait, where are you at now? Are you in South Africa?
I am, yes, I'm currently in Johannesburg. Yeah.
Oh, we just next to each other now. Okay, cool.
Oh, okay, where are you based?
Hey, I move a lot, but now I'm in Beria.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no, we're not too far from each other, but we're definitely both in Johannesburg.
Where you at?
I am currently in Melville.
Melville.
Yes, sir.
Oh, all right, not that far. I see. Hey, my brother, the language is short. It's, we call it Shona, right?
It is Shona, yes, sir.
Yeah, not Zimbabwean. Right, right. So like, you were born in Zim, and then you moved to Beijing when you were 4 years old, right? And
No, actually, when I was 14 months old, I moved
man,
to Beijing in 1997. I was born in 95, and then once I was the age to be able to fly, because you know, as a baby, you
yeah.
can't fly too young. So once I reached the right age, I was able to fly with my parents to Beijing.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
what were you doing? Like, what were you, what were they doing there? Like, I want to know why you had to go there.
Well, my
Were they?
parents were diplomats back in the day. My dad was an ambassador for Zimbabwe. So we
Oh,
moved around quite a lot. So I'm actually the most boring person in my family because I was at the end before he retired. But yeah, we were based in Beijing, and then 2004 we came here.
oh. So like you well traveled.
We did, we do. We are a traveling family. Yeah.
That's great that you're traveling as a family because there's some protection, the same love, same energy. I like that. I like that.
Yeah. No,
So
true, absolutely.
okay, so like, did that affect you in any way? Because I think you might wanna make friends and stay a bit longer in some place. Did that affect you
Yeah.
like in a negative way?
It did. It did. Like you said, you know, making friends is hard, but I think it was a blessing and a curse. It was a two-sided coin because as much as you're not able to stay in one place for a very long time because you're just stationed or you're assigned to a next destination, um, because of that fast-paced life, you're able to adapt to people much faster as well. So
Yeah.
I do think it's been a blessing for me to be able to relate to people as quickly and as easily as I do because we've been having to integrate into so many different societies and so many different types of people. You know, you have to keep up. So it was hard, but it was good. Like, you know, it depends how you look at it.
Yeah, hey, I don't know how it feels, but I think any challenge is worth it.
True, exactly. It builds character.
Yeah, and one thing I like the most is that like when you're moving, you don't get to belong, and when you don't belong, you don't sleep because you realize you're living for you. Unlike when you have a lot of friends, you might sleep a little bit. Yeah. So
Yeah.
did you ever have like any cultural shock?
To be honest, my most cultural shock is when I arrived in South Africa. um,
Yeah.
yeah, no, it was yeah, late laugh.
Tell me about it.
You know, I unfortunately did have a few bullying experiences and a few, you know, I was the black Chinese girl, you know. Can you imagine
Oh,
how children are? So I did have to go through a few bullying instances, but yeah, yeah, I'd say South Africa was definitely the culture shock for me coming back.
so like, how would you make it out of the bullying? Because how would you survive that?
You know what? I think that's probably why me and my brothers, my siblings are so close, is because like we understood that we were different, you know. And because of that, like I dude, no matter what space you're going to be in, Oxala, you're going to be different, dude, you know. We walk into a white room, you're going to be the only black person there. You know, you walk into a different room, you're the only person that speaks English. So there's always going to be something about you that's going to make others uncomfortable, but you can't let that change who you are, you know. And especially when you're able to help so many people and you know what kind of things you can bring to the table, you can't undermine yourself. You can't. So tough skin, but I made it through.
Yeah, like, damn, this just, like I have a few friends from that side as well from Zim, actually, to be precise.
Okay.
Like, what I like most is that they're super focused, more focused than any other South African I've ever met. I think, I don't know if it's because they're in a different region, they feel the need as much as, like, way more than we do, or I don't know, but they're very, very determined and intelligent. And they're not entitled to having these big jobs or whatever, because you can find someone with biggest qualifications still working very normal
Mm,
job. That's one
yeah.
thing I appreciate the most. I love that about it.
No, I hear you absolutely. I think it's just one of those innate culture things. Fortunately, with all the different social issues that's gone on in South Africa, it's kind of made people, less focused on self and helping each other. So I think maybe that's the difference between the two cultures, is that in Zim, we're still very focused, like, on a goal together, as
Yeah,
opposed to here. Ubuntu is a bit differently defined in different spaces. So I think maybe that's the difference.
yeah. That should play like a very big role. I really take that. So, have you experienced any xenophobic anarchy?
I have, unfortunately. Also, because my name is Tenjiwe, I'm named after my grandmother. So my grandmother is actually South African. She was born here, and she's from the KZN. But my grandfather was from Zim. So then they had my father, and then my mother is also from Zim. So it's tough sometimes because you walk into a room and they read your first name and they're like, oh, Utenjiwe. So they're like, oh, okay, hello. And then they try to pronounce
Okay,
Swarai, and it's
okay.
like,
So,
"Hey."
oh my God.
And then they have a question mark over their head, and then now I have to prove myself, and it's and then I don't look Zimbabwean as well, so sometimes feel like I lie about my identity. So I have been in spaces where I've had to, like, prove myself in different
Why would you
ways.
not?
So yeah, it is tough. It is tough, even in the industry. You know, even in the industry, certain roles
Really?
I can't do because I'm not South African enough. Certain
Really?
characters I can't play. So yeah, it happens, but you keep pushing. You keep pushing.
No, what is it that's missing? Like the language?
The language, yeah, the language.
Because, damn, like you said, some people don't even believe that you're not South African. So it's surprising when some say you're not South African enough to be on the film. Like, but when you say the language, yeah, I can get that. So, like, why do
Yeah.
you think xenophobia is even a thing?
Why do I think?
Xenophobia is even like a real thing. Why do you think we have to deal with that?
To be honest, I think what it comes down to is that people, it's hard to see, it's hard to see differences and similarities amongst each other as Africans. And I think it makes it more sore of a point when we do see the struggle of another African. Um, and then they come over to, let's say, South Africa looking for refuge. But it's like, you look at this person and they have perhaps the same opportunities as you do as a South African, then you feel like they have made more advantages or made more steps forward than you do. And then you feel entitled, and then you feel, and I certainly understand it. As a politics student, I completely understand, helping yourself first before you help others. But at the same time, we went through a struggle together. You know what I mean? Africa went through a colonization together. We came out of the struggle together. If anything, South Africa was the last country to gain its independence, if we think about it as a timeline. So, it is hurtful to watch other African countries who really have laid their lives on the line. Armies have died. Cuba sent 2,000 men over to, you know, all these things, and we add them up and we take them for disadvantage, when it's like there was a point in time in history when Africa was one team, when we all had one enemy and we all had one goal. So fast forward 25 years after, independence and blah blah blah. We've all started coming out with our own different separate goals. South Africa wants to be the gateway for the rest of Africa. Nigeria wants to be the strongest economy. All these things are possible if we do work together, but we can't, as African countries, beg for independent power over everybody else, because I think that's where xenophobia is coming from. It's coming from someone trying to be a dominant on our own continent, which doesn't make sense because we've all got the same fight.
Wow. What a way to put it. Like, I wasn't thinking about it that way. Like I had just a little bit of that, but not really that deep. So like you really unpack something. Like yeah. I like that. So
a degree.
How could we deal with that fear? How could we overcome that fear and feel like, okay, yeah, like my brothers from, let's put it this way, like my brothers and sisters from a different region are here. Yes, this means, like, this surely means that the job opportunities decrease, but if we work together, we can still come out clean and proper. And how do we change that mentality?
I think it's self, hey? It's a social change. It comes from the mind firstly. You have to emancipate yourself from that mental slavery that we're all fighting against each other for a loaf of bread. Imagine if we all baked bread together, how many loaves would they be instead of us fighting over this one loaf? You know what I mean? So I think it really comes down to the thought process of the individual. The Black society has to try and think different. We have to try think beyond tomorrow, because that's, I think, the most plight of Africa is the fact that poverty, and so people are desperate. So you trying to get your next meal as in tomorrow, am I going to eat or not? You know what I mean? And that does make it desperate. It makes it tough. But instead of us thinking and hoping and living just for tomorrow, why don't we invest in our Wednesday, our Thursday, our Friday, our Saturday, teaching each other our skills, harnessing whatever we can together, so that it becomes a longevity thing, as instead of a short-term goal, as in, pilchers, nelipap, namhlanje, that's all I'm okay with. And then tomorrow you're going to try hustle for another pilchers, nipap, footy again. It doesn't make sense, So I think it's a social change. It's in the mind.
I like that. It makes me go back to, like, you did study international relations and political science.
Yeah.
That was not really. Like, I can feel that through your answers. Like, So, speaking about that, like, does any of these African, should I call it anarchy, or I don't know how to call it even, like this unruly behavior, like, does it have any way, did it any way impact you to become like a poet? Did it affect you and make you become a poet?
Absolutely. Because for me, it got to a point where I had to choose sides, like either South African or Zimbabwean, because it's either you're in or you're out, you know what I mean? Yeah. And even within the South African sphere, I mean, I remember taking a taxi one time to Rosebank, and I was on my way to work. I used to work at a restaurant. And what I would do is that I would keep my afro in my beanie, and then when I get to work, I'll take out my hair, right? For safety as a woman, like, you don't want any type of attention. So unfortunately, I got into a taxi on Jan Smuts with just the driver and his friend, right? And as I got into the taxi, I'm thinking maybe we'll pick some people up as we go. It's fine. But as a female, you're not supposed to get into a taxi by yourself. But nonetheless, I'm here and we're driving. And the conversation alludes to foreigners and this whole xenophobia thing. Now, I start to, like, sweat because they're addressing me straight off the top in English. Like, off the top, they're talking to me in English. So now I'm like, okay, must I reply in English or must I reply in Zulu for my safety, manje, right? But he's really making an effort to talk to me in English. At that time, I haven't even said anything yet. So I decided to answer in English and we have a conversation. And by the end of the conversation, he's like, yeah, no, these foreigners, even these foreigner girls, they're coming over, they're taking, our tribesmen, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't know if you're indirectly speaking to me or what's happening. And he's like, oh, but you don't have to worry about that because you're colored, ne? So I was like, so I'm like,
What?
I don't know. Manja, I don't know. So now I have to hide my identity, not just as a foreigner,
You
but
should
as
have
a
told
black
him.
female. I still have to hide for my safety. I still have to hide my identity and say, yes, I'm colored, just so that I can get to work safely. So, socially, there's a lot going on, man. There's a lot going on.
Like I just wish I could see his face. Like you telling him that I'm actually Zimbabwean. You know, like to see his face. Like yeah.
Yeah, I should have said it as I left the taxi. I should have just closed the door and been like, "Yeah, well, I'm Zimbabwean."
Alright, man. So like you being a poet, what topics do you like to touch and why? What message are you really trying to point across? Because I know two that touched me, and then there's this one, like two which is again and oh, it's also empty. Hey, it's also empty. Like I that was long ago, but I could still feel it. Like it's like you wrote it yesterday because it's so real. And then again, I think it was last year. Yeah, but I want to know why did you choose those topics specifically because they're very deep.
So I'm a writer before anything else. I classify myself as a writer before anything else. And so when I wrote "Don't Write Poems About Me," I had gone through, I think it was about a year of the creative block, and I hadn't written in a very long time. So when I started writing "Don't Write Poems About Me," it was like I'd write one line and then go on for 2 days or 3 days, and then have an experience, and then add the line to it and come back. And the whole project, including the music and the sound and everything, it took about, I hate to say, but 8 months because
Ooh,
it was a very personal experience for me. Coming back to myself as a writer and creative and stuff, I tried to put as less pressure on this project as possible. I really just wanted to rediscover myself. So it was an open letter. It A lot of people think it's about love. It's more than love. It's about, yeah, recreating yourself, having people's expectations put on you, and saying fuck it, like, and all that stuff. So yeah.
I really thought it was about love. I thought, okay, she got heartbroken. And now she's telling the nigga, chill, nigga, I got me, I love me, I don't need you.
Well, you're right. Of course. But
Oh,
it was
nice.
pressure to the heartbreaks, to the current, whoever is in the picture now, and to whoever's going to be in the picture in the future. It's for all of them.
I like that. So like the poem went on to win an award. How does that feel? On like Kasi Vibes Film Festival.
To be honest, it was weird because I didn't even go to the ceremony. I didn't know I had won.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I got the nomination while I was writing one of my law exams, because I study law, as well. So I was in my final paper, and it was like 4 a.m. in the morning, and I got the email that I'd been nominated. But I was like, oh, that's really great. I didn't think this thing would be a thing. I wasn't really writing it for it to blow up or whatever. It was just an expression of myself. So I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
that's really nice that someone recognized it. And then the event happened, and I was working on the day of the event, but I didn't think twice about it. And then the organizers called me and were like, hi, you won. And I think it was really nice was because, yeah, it was really nice because like I really love music, and I find a lot of my art through music. So being able to incorporate my writing, my visual, and music all together as one creative project was very, very humbling for me to be recognized for. So I was grateful for that.
That's very dope. And did you direct that
Thanks.
one as well?
No. So a friend of mine, James Reynolds, he directed it. but everything else was me. Yeah.
You were at the Dome, right? You traveled a
Yeah.
lot through it. Were you at some point in Delta Park?
I was at some point in Delta. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, I could
It
see
was
them. Oh,
actually
communicate.
the at the Dome. It was, I think it was the Travis Scott concert. No, the Meek Mill concert. Yes, we just were in the parking
Oh,
lot. We drove to Northgate. We shot for like 5 minutes. We didn't even go to the concert. We just shot outside 5 minutes and then we went home.
what? I thought you were going in. Yes, so you love this big ads. I think you've also been on a J. Cole concert, right?
I have, yeah.
How was that? My mind literally went crazy. Damn, couldn't even get a ticket.
Oh man, it was crazy. It was crazy. You know, the whole Dome was singing Forest Hills. As soon as he dropped stuff from Forest Hills, the crowd went wild. Like he even put the mic away. He was like, "Are you serious right now?" It was crazy. Crazy.
So you're a fan.
I am a fan, low key a fan. Yeah.
Are you sure you're a fan? Oh, look at that network.
It's been
Look
a
at that
while.
network. Not today.
It's been a while since I've listened to Cole. I know he just dropped late to the party,
Driving me nuts.
but I'm sure it's great.
Sorry, you were saying?
I haven't
I
listened to
missed
the
that.
album yet, the J. Cole album, but I'm sure it's popping. I'm sure it's great.
Wait, which album are we talking about? The latest?
The latest one, yeah.
Oh, I haven't listened to that one as well. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Let me know.
so, okay, getting into modeling. So you are a commercial model. Like, how do you wait? Your first official endorsement or partnership was with Mr. Price, right?
So yeah, that was, yeah, I guess you could say so. It wasn't a paid gig or anything, but I think brand wise, you can say yes, that was my first official thing.
Okay. Wait, before we go on, I need to see your face. I need to see your
Where
face. Please do
is it?
something.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness, I didn't know this thing was like. There you go.
No, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So, okay. So, like, how did you get the Mr. Price thing? Because back then, I think you were still unknown.
Very much so. I still like to think I'm still unknown now, but it's fine.
No.
Um,
No.
I got the chance to work with Cedric Nkanza. He's the owner and founder of Everyday People Stories. He's a very well-respected photographer, and back in the day, he was the first person to ever have a brand collaboration. Like when it came to that whole connection between brand and influencers, Cedric was one of the first to do it. And he had this thing with Mr. Price where he had to go out and find stylish people and give them a 500 Rand voucher to Mr. Price, and then they go and design their own outfits, and then he has a street shoot with them. So Cedric came along and asked me to do it, and yeah, that was really cool. It was cool.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean design your own outfit?
Oh, so they give you a 500 Rand voucher, and then you go to any Mr. Price and you create a look with that 500 Rand. Yeah. So from head to toe, shoes and everything. Yeah.
Okay, when you say design, I'm thinking about other things. I'm thinking, oh, really? Do you have to design from scratch?
From scratch. Oh, no. Just go pick what you like and put it together.
I like it. So, like, you were trusted. Means, like, you know what you're doing.
I'd like to think so.
I would have thought someone was dressing you. Like, my network is crazy. It's crazy.
Oh, my bad. No. Yeah, I guess I'm an all-round creative. So
Sorry, I'm missing some things because my network is really crazy. I couldn't hear that.
No problem. No, I was just saying I'm an all-round creative, so I guess it's part of the package, you know.
Oh my God. Okay, yeah, I think we're good now.
Okay.
This network is problematic. So,
You should.
I missed the whole thing. What did you say?
Oh no, I was just saying that I'm a creative, so I guess all these elements are part of the package.
I I like that, but we creatives too, but we don't know about that fabric. Man. It's got to be some special type of thing. So like, if you give me that voucher and go to Mr. Price, I'll probably spend it on two things and not know what I did.
Hey man, as long as it comes out as a combo, it's okay.
Hi, I hear you. So like, now you with the Boss Models, right? The agency.
Yeah.
When did you join them?
I joined them officially in 2017, January 2017. Yeah.
Alright. So they're the one that got you on like Cosmopolitan magazine.
Yes. Yeah. So they've done all my brand work and stuff. Yeah.
Alright. I see your mama was proud, but you don't talk about your feelings.
You know
What
what?
did you?
Because the whole modeling thing, honestly, I started to pay my fees, and to pay to rent and stuff.
No.
Uh, um, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
No. I can only hear some pieces here and there. Like I was waiting for your space so I can tell you we're not on the same page anymore.
Oh no. Okay. How about now?